Hello friends, it is the third day of third lesson, current electricity from science part first. What we have discussed so far? We have discussed potential difference, and the second point we have discussed electric current. How we have discussed electric current? Electric current is nothing but flow of electron from the lower potential to the higher potential, and though electrons are flowing from negative to positive, always we are showing this current flowing from positive terminal to negative terminal. To maintain the flow of current, what is required? Definitely there is a difference in the potential. And so what is a device by which we can create the potential difference? That is electric cell. That means electric cell is maintaining potential difference within the two terminals of a wire. See, today we are discussing resistance and Ohm law. It is a new concept for us. Before discussing resistance, just try to understand this figure. It is a circuit diagram. It is incomplete circuit diagram. What we are discussing, what is required for that, I have discussed only that. See, this one, a conductor. Conductors are always made up of metal, that means metal wire. We have taken one metal wire, the terminal is A and B, that means the wire's first end is A, the last end is B. In between that A and B, we have joined two devices, which are the first is key. Why we are using key? To start or stop the flow of current. And again one meter, that is ammeter, to measure the current within the circuit, how much current is there within the circuit. To measure this, we have applied here ammeter. Ammeter is always connected in series, that means along the path. That means in between A and B, as it is like this one, wire we having key and ammeter, and electrons are moving randomly. Why? Because potential difference is not there. But when you apply a cell is a device which can create potential difference. In between terminal A and terminal B, we have joined one electric cell. Electric cell's first end is positive and second negative. That means it is a lower potential and it having the higher potential. And because of apply of this cell or addition of cell within the circuit, now in between this wire, that means A and B, potential difference get maintained, and so electron starts to flow from negative terminal of a cell, that is through end B, and from B end to this ammeter, and ammeter to end A, and again towards the positive terminal, and current get maintained within this circuit. So what are the importance? See, cell is very important to maintain the potential difference. One key to start and stop the current, that is flow of electron. And lastly, we have to attach or we have to connect, that is ammeter, to measure how much current is flowing. At least this much devices should be there. Then Ohm was the person who has concentrated on this and demonstrated an experiment. What he have done? See, potential difference of this cell is 1 volt. Means what? It can carry 1 coulomb charge. That means it having the potential to carry the 1 coulomb charge by doing 1 joule work done. Because last video we have discussed what is potential difference. Potential difference is nothing but amount of work done to move unit charge, that is 1 coulomb charge, from one terminal of battery to, or one terminal of a wire to second terminal of a wire. So as this potential difference of this cell is 1 volt, means what? 1 volt is equal to 1 joule divided by 1 coulomb. That means by spending 1 joule of energy, it can carry 1 coulomb charge. Means what? 6.25 into 10 raised to 18 electrons you can transfer from negative end to positive end of the battery, that we have discussed. So what is our today's discussion is Ohm's law. See what Ohm have done. He has maintained the potential difference in between two ends of a wire and measure the current. So what are the readings? By applying 1 volt of potential difference in between two terminals of wire, he is getting 3 ampere current within the circuit or within this wire. So what he have done? He started to increase the potential difference by applying 1 more cell there. See, now here this is negative and now B is here. Now this 1 volt and 1 volt, like this one, what happened here? Now 2 volts are there. So what is the total potential difference in between A and B? That is 2 volt. And what is the result? Result here, ammeter has shown 6 ampere current. So what happened? Potential difference increased. As increase in the potential difference, current also has increased. That is 1 to 2 volt. Then 3 ampere to 6 ampere. So again he started to add the potential difference here, and again 1 cell he has attached. By applying the third cell, now B end is here and negative, positive, negative, here positive, negative, here positive and negative. 3 cells have applied. So togetherly potential difference is now 3 volt. And by applying the 3 volt potential difference, his readings was 9 ampere. So what has happened here? 2 ampere to 3 ampere potential difference increased. Then here current in the circuit also increased. So what is the proportion here? Direct proportion. Potential difference increases. As increase in the potential difference, definitely there is an increase in the current in the circuit. So again finally what he has done? Again he started to increase the potential difference like this and reach towards 5 volt. So within this demonstration, when potential difference is 5 volt within the two terminals of wire, then he observed what? 15 ampere current within the circuit. So see here, 1, 3, 2, 6, 3, 9, 5, 15. So as increase in the potential difference, current goes on increasing. But concentrate one more concept here. Here ratio of potential difference is to current in the circuit. So 1 upon 3, that is 1 upon 3. So 2 upon 6 finally get resulted in 1 upon 3. 3 upon 9 get resulted into 1 upon 3. So 5 upon 15 get resulted in 1 upon 3. So wherever you go, you are observing V upon I ratio, that is ratio of potential difference in between two terminals of wire is to current within that circuit is constant. So what is constant? Ratio of V upon I is constant, and so as ratio of V upon I is constant, that is K, so shall we write like this one? V is proportional to I, or current within the circuit is directly proportional to potential difference. As there is a increase in the potential difference, current in the circuit get increases, and as there is a decrease in the potential difference in between two terminals of wire, current also decreases. So increase, increase, decrease, decrease. So direct proportion. So what is direct proportion? Current in the circuit is directly proportional to potential difference within the two ends of wire. So that demonstration has done by the Ohm, and he has stated one law, and that law is considered as a Ohm's law. So what is meant by Ohm's law? See, Ohm's law is nothing but it is a relation between, it is a relation in between what? V and I. V, potential difference between the two ends of wire. I, because of potential difference, what current get generated within the circuit or within that conductor. So it is a relation between current flowing through a wire, that is I, and potential difference across the two terminals of a wire. That means in between two terminals of wire, what potential difference? 1 volt, 2 volt, 3 volt, 5 volt. What you applied here? So this relation is explained by Ohm's law. So suppose you will face the question like this one. Explain Ohm's law. So how to explain? Explain Ohm's law. Answer is Ohm's law states or explains the relation between current flowing through a wire and the potential difference across the two terminals of wire. So what is actual law? See, if the physical states of a conductor remains constant, there are four physical states. What are these physical states? Number one, length of a wire. Number two, area of a cross section. Number three, temperature. And number four, material of a wire. If these four things remains constant or these physical states are constant, once again, length of wire, area of cross section, temperature and the material. If these four things are constant, then or remains constant, then the current flowing through it is directly proportional to the potential difference between its two terminals. So Ohm's law can be stated like this one. We are going to focus how physical states are constant, why he has considered the physical state constant. If there is a change in physical state, then this ratio will get changed. And so he has concentrated on the physical states constant. So state the law of Ohm or Ohm's law. If the physical states are constant, then current in the circuit is directly proportional to potential difference used between two terminals of wire. Then it can be explained like this one or stated like this one. Current within the circuit is directly proportional to potential difference. So if you want to convert that proportional to equality, you should consider one constant, and this K is constant we have used. See, if we change position of key K and transfer to the left hand side, it will be for denominator. So I is equal to 1 upon K is equal to V. But 1 upon K is nothing but Ohm has considered as resistance of a conductor. We will discuss again what is actually resistance. But here 1 upon K, that is inverse of constant, is a R, that is a resistance. So finally we are getting I into 1 upon K is R. So I into R is equal to V. So three equations we are getting here. First equation, IR is equal to V. So V upon R is equal to I. And again V upon I is equal to R. So three equation, V is equal to IR, I is equal to V upon R, and R is equal to V upon I. That is the three equations we are getting here. We need this equation in 9th standard, again in the 10th standard to solve more equations. So finally we have reached here. It is a ratio. Ratio of potential difference between the two terminals of wire is to current within this wire or conductor. This ratio is nothing but what? Resistance. So how will you explain the resistance? Resistance is nothing but a constant, or it is a ratio of potential difference between the two terminals of wire is to current within that wire or current within that conductor. So who has invented that? Ohm. And so resistance unit is considered as a ohm. That will be denoted by, or that is denoted by omega. So what is omega? Omega is nothing but the SI unit of resistance, where resistance is measured in ohm. That is potential difference is measured in volt, and current is measured in ampere. So what is ohm? Ohm is nothing but a ratio of voltage to ampere. So with the help of this, shall we go for the next one? See, 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt divided by 1 ampere. Means what now? See, we have applied a one cell of 1 volt. We have taken one wire and applied that wire towards the two end of battery. That means if we have taken one battery and applied one wire in between that, then potential difference within the two terminals of battery is 1 volt. And by using the 1 volt potential difference, if your ammeter is showing 1 ampere current in the circuit, So definitely the resistance of that wire is 1 ohm. Got the point? Once again, see, we have taken one wire and that wire's end has connected to the two ends of cell of 1 volt. So what is the potential difference? Potential difference is 1 volt. And by applying the 1 volt potential difference, if ammeter is showing 1 ampere current, that means 1 volt upon 1 ampere, that is equal to 1 ohm. Then the resistance of wire, by applying the 1 volt potential difference, if within the wire 1 ampere current gets generated, then resistance of that wire is considered as a 1 ohm. So next question we are going to discuss, that is what is meant by 1 ohm. You may have faced the question like this: explain 1 ohm. So how to explain? First of all, we should explain like this one. See, resistance is equal to potential difference divided by current. So resistance is measured in ohm, potential difference is measured in volt, and current is measured in ampere. So ohm is equal to volt divided by ampere, that like 1 ohm is equal to 1 volt upon 1 ampere. Just we have discussed, when we are using 1 volt potential difference and for that 1 ampere current, then circuit's resistance is 1 ohm. So how to define this? See, if 1 ampere current flows through a conductor, how much current is there in the conductor? 1 ampere. Because of what? When 1 volt potential difference is applied between its end, that means in between two ends of wire, 1 volt potential difference is there, and due to this, within the circuit 1 ampere current is there. Then the resistance of the conductor is said to be 1 ohm. That means the wire having the resistance of 1 ohm. See, we are focusing now what is actually resistance. So we have discussed, as a ratio of potential difference is to current is called as resistance, but actually what is in by resistance, how it is happening. See, this is a metallic wire. By zooming this one, we are observing inner part of the wire. These are the atoms, that is wire is, each and every material is made up of wire, and this is a conducting wire. As we are applying a cell, that is positive terminal and negative terminal to this wire, then electrons are flowing from negative terminal to positive terminal, and within this wire we are observing these free electrons are moving towards the positive terminal. Before the applying of potential difference, these electrons were moving randomly, but now they are moving in one direction, that is unidirectional flow is there, and this flow of electrons is nothing but current. But while flowing, we should concentrate on this concept now. This electron has to collide. Suppose you are moving or you are riding your bicycle or a cycle through a road. If crowd is more, you have to find your way. Maybe you will collide with some person and your speed decreases or not. So as more collisions, that is more crowd, more collisions, speed decreases. Suppose early in the morning you are riding in the vehicles, other vehicles are less, so you can maintain the more speed. But when hindrances are more, obstacles are more, speed breakers are more, definitely because of these obstacles, many dogs and the people and different kind of animals, your speed get reduced. As your speed reduces by, because resistance is more, see how we are applying. As these electrons are flowing from negative end to positive end of a wire, that is terminal in between two wire, then these electrons are colliding with electrons. Many more electrons are there. They are colliding with that electrons. Again, they are colliding with atoms and they are colliding with ions. Why else? Because if this atom has reduced one electron, that means one electron is less from that atom, it is ion. Then How many factors are there? 2. Which these free electrons are colliding? 3. Electron exists within this conductor, atoms within this conductor, ions within this conductor. And because of this collision, what will happen? It will create hindrance. Hindrance means of oppose. And because of this hindrance will create the opposed flow of current. So as crowd increases, vehicle speed decreases, like this one, as hindrance, that means collision increases, hindrance increases, and because of that hindrance, opposition, it will oppose the flow of current, that means currents will flow little less. And this property of a conductor to oppose the flow of current is called as resistance. Means what we see here? It is a property. Each and every material having this hindrance. Those who having the less hindrance, that means less resistance. Some materials having a more hindrance. Because of that, the electricity will not flow through that conductors or through that material. So totally a material is a conductor or insulator is totally depend on this hindrance. Gold is the good conductor. Why? It having the less hindrance. That means collisions are less, more free electrons are there, more way is there, heavy, and because of heavy electrons will run with a great velocity. So gold is considered as a good conductor. But what about the wood? Wood is bad conductor of electricity. Electrons will not pass through. Why? Because this hindrance is more. So actually, what is resistance? Resistance is a property of a conductor to oppose the flow of current. Why oppose? Because of hindrance. Why hindrance? Because of collision. Collision of what? Electrons. Two what? Electron, atom and ions. So once again, while electrons are flowing through a metallic conductor, it has to collide with electrons, atoms and ions. And because of this collision, there is a hindrance in the flow of current. And so it opposes to flow of current. And this property to oppose the flow of current is called as resistance. And this resistance is depend on 4 factors. And so Ohm, are you getting that now? So Ohm has considered 4 physical characters or states are constant. So which are these 4 physical states? See, number 1, length of pipe. See here, just one good example we are discussing here. There is one pipe of a diameter 3 feet. So my height is considered 6 feet and I have to run through a pipe of 3 feet. How I should run? I have to run by bending little down or not. So my body starts to collide with the edges. That edges collision is nothing but hindrance. I can't run so fast through that pipe. If pipe is so enough to run through that one, I can run very fast. But now hindrance is there. So if 1 kilometer I have to run, suppose not I, you are running now. You have started your journey from the first end of pipe and reached here. And nextly, I have applied again one pipe. So, if you want to return, again 1 kilometer you have to run. If you want to move ahead, again 1 kilometer. So, it is teacher's order. So, definitely you will run to this end. When you reach here, again I have applied one pipe. Now 2 kilometer, 1 kilometer, which is better? This one. Again, when you reach here, I will apply one more pipe here. Then tell me, your speed in first pipe, your speed in second pipe, your speed in third pipe and fourth pipe. Then what happened? As number of pipes starts to increase, your energy will decrease or you will not run now. That means, as length increases, definitely your speed decreases. Like this now, if wire's length is less, hindrance is less and current will pass easily. And if wire is start to increase, that is in length, then definitely hindrance increase. Electrons has to collide with many electrons, many atoms and many ions, and because of this one, more hindrance get created and resistance increases. So current will not go for the long distance with the same speed. And because of this one, see here, if length of wire increases, resistance increases. So resistance is directly proportional to length of wire. And so Ohm is telling, don't change the length of wire. If you change the length of wire in the each and every experiment, your readings are different. So if you want to conduct the same experiment and with the same result, you have to keep constant the length of wire. If you change the length of wire, definitely resistance will get changed and your measures or your calculations will get wrong. So what is the first one? Length of wire. How is its resemblance? Resistance of a wire or a conductor is directly proportional to length of wire. Length increases, resistance increases. Resistance increases, opposite increases, current decreases. So we should not use long wires to apply or to start the devices. As short as possible, we should use this one. Secondly, area of cross section. Area of cross section is what? See, this one is a wire. If we consider this one wire, this is the length of wire. And are you observing this circular part? This is the area of cross section. So same example we are observing here. We have taken many pipes and these are the open ends of pipe. This pipe is of 10 feet diameter. This is of 6 feet diameter. This is of 3 feet diameter. This is of 2 feet diameter. This is of 1 feet diameter. Then tell me, you have to run with this 10 feet diameter pipe. Yes, definitely you will jump, you will go here and there and easily you can pass through this pipe or not. Because diameter is more, that is area of cross section is more. If your height is 6 feet and the pipe's diameter is also 6 feet. So if you jump a little, if you move a little, your head is going to collide with the border or surface of that pipe. And so you will get hurt. And so you have to take more precautions while running through this pipe. So your speed decreased or not? Definitely. Now, diameter is 3 feet. Now you will not run so fast as compared to this second pipe. Here you have to bend down. And when you bend down, definitely your speed decreases. So consider 2 feet. So very small pipe. And if you want to run, no, you have to crawl now. Then if you are moving with the diameter of 2 feet, a pipe of 2 feet, then it is very hard. Then what about the 1 feet? Someone have to pull out. Then only you can pass this time. So as diameter decreases, our trouble increases or not? Diameter decreases, trouble increases. Like this one, if the cross section of a wire, that means this one is a wire, this one is a cross section. The circular part is cross section. Bigger the cross section means what? Thin wire. And cross section little means what? That is cross section more means what? Thick wire is there. Cross section little means thin wire is there. If wire becomes thinner, that means road is getting shorter, then definitely obstacles are more. So as cross section of wire is more, definitely resistance is less. If cross section of wire is getting decreasing, then definitely hindrance increases and resistance increases. So resistance is inversely proportional to area of cross section. That is the second conclusion. So Ohm is telling, don't change the cross section of a wire to do the experiment. If it is constant, then only its readings are set. Next is temperature. We have discussed in the previous standard, as temperature increases, metal get expand, and as they are expanding, length increases, and as length increases, definitely area of cross section decreases, and because length increase, resistance increases, and area decreases, that also result into resistance increases. And so when temperature increases, resistance increases, and so the wire problem we having, or circuit problem or electricity problem we having in summer, because of more heat result into elongation of wire, then resistance increases. And lastly, we are focusing on the last point, that is material. So see here, as per change in the material, definitely resistance different because each material having a different property or different power to resist the electron. If we focus on the gold having less resistance, it is considered the best conductor. Why? Because opposition power is less. As compared to gold, silver is also good conductor but not good than the gold. Silver having more resistance power than gold, but it is also good conductor. Iron having more resistance power, so we are not using as a conductor. But when we focus on wood or plastics having more power to resist the electrons, and so wood is not a good conductor, and those who are resistance high, they are considered as an insulator, and the material which are having the low resistance are conductor as considered as a good conductors. So gold, silver are good conductors, it is a semiconductor, and wood is a bad conductor. So Ohm has focused on this 4 part. So within the last point, what we have discussed, see, when electrons are moving through a conductor, it has to collide with electrons, atoms and ion. So this collision will create the hindrance, and this hindrance oppose the flow of current, and this property of material to oppose the current is called as resistance. This resistance is dependent on 4 factors, which are the length of wire, area of cross section, temperature, and lastly it is material. How it is dependent on length? It is directly proportional to length. It is inversely proportional to area of cross section. Temperature increases, resistance increases, temperature decreases, resistance decreases, and lastly it is dependent on material. And so Ohm has focused on these 4 states. If these are constant, then current in the circuit is directly proportional to physics, that is potential difference between the 2 ends of wire. That part we have discussed within this video. In the next video, we will focus more on resistivity. What is meant by resistivity? Thank you.